Okay, there we go. We're live. Got everybody up here. All right, here we go. All right, good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Moreno Valley. I now call this meeting to order on February 12th, 2026 at 6:01 p.m. I invite Commissioner Baker to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hand over heart, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Zeitz,
Here.
Commissioner Terrell,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor is absent. Commissioner Stefan,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Baker,
Here.
Chairperson Dejanay.
Present. All right, we'll now move into the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right. All right, the motion does carry. Okay, before we hear public comments this evening, I will ask everyone, encourage everyone to participate and keep their comments respectful towards others, especially towards individuals speaking. I embrace and support the First Amendment right to free speech, including everyone's right to speak at this meeting and share his or her views about issues concerning our city. Anyone wishing to speak, either under the public comment section of the agenda, scheduled items, or public hearings, must fill out a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form must be submitted to the secretary prior to the end of the public comment period. During the public comment period for each item, including items not on the agenda, each member of the public who has signed up to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. The public must direct their comments to the chairperson of the commission. All right, now we'll move into public comments on items that are not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, Chair, we have one speaker. We have Mr. George Haig.
Good evening. George Haig, Moreno Valley. It's my understanding, because of the talks with the Attorney General, that it's quite possible you will be receiving the circulation element back again for your review. There's one section, Ironwood Avenue, that's curved. It's basically between Nason Street and LaSalle. About 10 years ago, the city wanted to improve Ironwood Avenue between Paris and Nason Street and make it into maybe a 5-lane road, and they had a community meeting there at Palm Middle School with many of the residents along this section. The city already had money set aside, and after the discussion with the residents, they moved that money to actually be used on the west side of Paris to widen Ironwood Avenue in that section. They had trouble making it 5 lanes in certain sections over there also. During that area where there's a curve, if you drive along Ironwood Avenue, you're going to see the problems that will exist, where widening it to 5 lanes is crazy. I mean, I've lived somewhere along that area for 50 years when they used to drive sheep up and down Ironwood Avenue. And it's no longer going to be used for that, but for a 5-lane, no. What was promised us at the time when we had the community meeting was that it was going to be a 3-lane road in that section with a center turning lane and a bicycle lane also, and maybe a sidewalk on each side, but not 5 lanes. It would actually be just 3 lanes, center turning lane, allow cars to pull out. There's many driveways along that section. There are side roads where there's 10, 15, 20 homes entering into Ironwood along the side there. It's a crazy section to have as a 5-lane road. Very quickly on other matters, remote hearing, where people can call in like they did during COVID. That's going to be required of the city councils starting, I believe, in July by state law. It should also be required here. You need to recommend it. You need to have a hearing on it and make it happen. I understand there's other commissions in the city planning to do this also. Email letters to you, I'm still struggling getting them to you in a timely manner. If I send an email on Monday, it should get to you at the latest by Wednesday morning. Even if it's Monday night when I send it, it should get to you by then. What's in the website, I used that email address and it didn't happen.
Thank you. Any other callers?
We have no more speakers.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion unless a member of the commission requests that an item be removed for separate action. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard before each item on the consent calendar. Questions or comments from the public on a consent calendar matter must pertain to the subject matter consideration. At this time, would a commissioner like to pull an item from the consent calendar? Or a separate vote or? Okay. All right. Doesn't look like we're pulling anything. Do we have any public comments for items on the consent calendar?
We have no speaker cards.
Okay. Can I have a motion second for the approval of the consent calendar?
I motion.
I have a motion and a second. Looks like the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a non-public hearing item. No action requested of the commission, so it doesn't look like we're going to be taking any action on this. The item is item number 1, a proposed truck route map to comply with California Assembly Bill 98 and Senate Bill 415. However, before we receive the staff report on this item, I would like to clarify for the audience and my fellow planning commissioners that this is a receive and file item. Receive and file items are presented for information purposes only and requires no action beyond acknowledgement of the item being presented. The Planning Commission will receive the presentation provided by a staff. No deliberation, action, or vote will be taken, and questions should be limited to clarifying questions on information presented. While the commission may make comments after the presentation, the item is not intended for discussion of the commission, but rather shall be received as information status update with no further action. At this time, I would like to ask the city attorney whether we have any additional information to provide to the commission.
No.
Looked like it caught you there a little bit there. It's on there.
Am I supposed to have something? No, I do not.
It didn't actually say your name. It just. All right. Do we have a staff report?
Hello, good evening, Chair, Planning Commission. We do have a presentation prepared by our Engineering Division Manager and Assistant City Engineer, Mr. Harold Zamora. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Once again, my name is Harold Zamora. I'm the Assistant City Engineer and Engineering Manager at Public Works. And I'll be providing you with an update on the revisions we're doing to the truck route maps and how we're helping to comply with the recent legislation. So Assembly Bill 98 was passed into law in September of 2024. The main objective of this bill is to require the local jurisdictions to adopt designated truck routes to protect sensitive receptors. What are those sensitive receptors? State law defines sensitive receptors as land uses that include residencies, schools, daycares, parks, nursing homes, and hospitals. In addition, state law provided guidelines and requirements for the jurisdictions to follow. First, they would like for us to prioritize highway, freeways, and major corridors. And secondly, they would like for us to add additional signage to truck routes and for truck parkings and idling locations. In March of 2025, the state passed Senate Bill 415. The main objective for Senate Bill 415 was to clarify some of the language in AB 98. For the city, the Senate Bill 415 provided clarification on enforcement. Essentially, jurisdictions must appoint enforcement officers that are trained by the California Highway Patrol. So to summarize, as required by the state law, we want to ensure efficient and safe routes for goods movement. We want to go ahead and prioritize the use of freeways and highways in major corridors. We also want to minimize the exposure to sensitive receptors. And then lastly, we want to engage with the community to get their input with all the stakeholders. One thing to note is that regardless of the state or county designated truck routes, federal law allows trucks to travel on local roads when necessary to serve businesses. So this first map I have for you right here, this is the current designated truck map that we have in place today. As you could see, it's spread throughout the city, with the bounding area being the 215 and the 60 freeway, with a few of the routes headed north of the 60 freeway. The second map I have for you here, and for simplicity, I went ahead and overlaid the residential areas, which are the ones that you can see in the dark and light tans. I went ahead and overlaid the existing truck maps onto that. And then what you see in front of you there is the red ones, the ones that are designated red, those are the ones we are proposing to remove. So as part of AB 98, there was a component for the community engagement. And as far as the community engagement to date, we've created a website which the public can go to get more information. It has a schedule of all our public events and outreaches. It also has a really neat interactive GIS map where you can actually turn on all the sensitive receptors, just depending on what you choose to see, and overlay the existing and the proposed map so you can get an idea of the effort that we've done. We've also created a flyer that we're distributing, and on that flyer, it has the basic information, but also a QR code that leads you directly back to the website. That website is live, and so anytime that we have any changes or updates, it'll be available on the website. It also provides you an opportunity to provide input. There's a link to our transportation department as well as a link to our planning department for any inquiries or comments that you'd like to make. In 2025, towards the end of 2025, we had two pop-up events, one at the Moreno Valley Mall. the other one at the city library. And then in December, we took this preliminary draft map to our Traffic Safety Commission for an opportunity to provide comments. After that December meeting, we also met with several individual stakeholders. We met with both school districts. We met with residents who were interested in discussing the project. And then we also met with various representatives from different communities and nonprofit organizations. As far as 2026, we returned back to the Traffic Safety Commission in January to present again what our updates were and to provide the opportunity for more comments. And then also the first week in February, we came forward to the Traffic Safety Commission again. And that brings us to where we are today here at the Planning Commission, just to provide an information resource. And then we'll also be holding an additional public workshop here at City Hall in March. So with all that, we took the information that we received and all the input that we got from all the stakeholders, and the map that you have in front of you is what the new truck designation would look like if everything follows through as planned. I overlaid that over our zoning so that you can see that the blue that is on the map there, that's our industrial areas. So we concentrated the routes to the industrial areas with circulation back to the freeway. And it provides a good opportunity for you to kind of see how that's going to work out. Now, there are some commercial businesses, as you can see, towards the center of the city. And like I mentioned before, if they need to do business there, they are going to be allowed to by federal law to go make their delivery and return back to the truck route. So what's next? We're going to go ahead and conduct the necessary CEQA analysis based on our proposed truck map. We'll go ahead and address the truck parking and signage requirements. We'll return here to the Planning Commission for a public hearing. And then after the Planning Commission, we'll go to City Council for a public hearing. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Just trying to get on there. I wanted to see it. All right, at this time, I ask any commissioners if they have any comments on this item. As a reminder, this item is a receive and file, and there shall be no deliberation or action taken by the Planning Commission. All right.
Chair, I wanted to ask about, it says enforcement officers. Now, are they're gonna monitor these routes and, cause we don't deal with the money part of it, but how many enforcement officers are going to have, and what are they gonna do to ensure that the truckers who provide the loads to their businesses, that they stick to the plan and not, I mean, other than what you're saying, that make sure they stay on the truck route. Because I know in the past that we have trucks everywhere, all over the place. But how are we going to make sure? How are they going to make sure these trucks go where they're supposed to and not go into the neighborhoods or travel where they're not supposed to?
So per the legislation, it requires one officer. We currently have two on board today, and they are California Highway Patrol trained. So we do meet that requirement. As far as the answer of how, I mean, I think that's I don't know if I can necessarily be the appropriate person to answer that, but obviously I think it's just a matter of ramping up the patrol.
Well, we need more than one. I mean, 'cause we meet the minimum, but we should go beyond that, because all the logistics centers we have, commercial center. We need more than one. But they need to be more than two. I mean, yeah, I mean, on the serious, we need more than two. I mean, we need more than two. I mean, that's not our decision, but I'm just going on record. We need more than the requirement, two. We need a lot more. I don't know. I can't define what a lot more mean, but I could just say we need as many as we need to meet the mission that this route's supposed to do. I mean, that's my opinion.
Well, you said there's going to be more discussions on this anyway, so maybe that can be addressed at that time.
Now, it's my understanding that, excuse me, my understanding that once this gets approved, put into law, I guess you would call it, that Caltrans will update truck routes for the truckers so they have no reason to know that they're not on a truck route. They'll do it on their GPSs and things of that nature. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay. And is there, maybe we could set up some type of non-emergency type number or a website or something that if citizen does see a truck wandering in the wrong spots, they can possibly make a phone call and get it handled. Problems that I have found in the past is where I live is trucks quite often will cut through. And I don't blame the sheriff's department on this at all, but by the time we go through dispatch and everything else, the truck's gone. There's no way to catch them. Maybe there's something we can come up with that might help the public, help the sheriff's department keep the truckers in line. So that's just a thought.
Any other commissioner comments or? All right. At this time, we will now take public comment on the item. Each member of the public wishing to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on this non-public hearing item. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, Chair, we have 3 speakers. Our first speaker is Ishmael Gonzalez, followed by Tatiana Flores, and followed by George Haig.
Hello and good evening, Planning Commission. My name is Ismael Gonzalez. I'm a Sierra Club member, as well as a member of the Inland Valley Alliance for Environmental Justice. I've been following the progression of this AB 98 truck map route issue from last year, and I want to say, credit is valid where it's due. The truck route from where it was to where it is now, it's great. I think I stand alone away from my other environmental colleagues where I think that you should go further and take out Gilman Springs Road. Gilman Springs Road is over there by the World Logistics Center where it's planned to be constructed. As far as I'm concerned, there's no warehouses over there. There's no commercial. There's no industry over there. So why have that street there when it's a main corridor for residents rather than truckers, right? It's the only corridor to Hemet, to San Jacinto. It's a canyon road, essentially narrow, 2 lanes. It's dangerous to have these huge vehicles there, especially late at night where there's no light anywhere, no street light. And I think the city should make a more diligent effort in getting public participation. I see here from the Attorney General's letter dated November 17th, it says the city must conduct outreach through public hearings and circulation elements to meet requirements of Government Code Section 65302.02. I think you guys are on a good track, but I think it should be done way more. You only have one more event planned here at City Hall. That's that's not a good record. You've had 2 out pop-ups, not good enough. The law is already in effect, and then we get fined $50,000 starting July 1st. I'm not willing to pay for that, you know. Additionally, I have the same concern as you, Planning Commissioner Terrell. Thank you so much for bringing that topic up. This whole debate, this whole conversation is a kind of a house of cards if there's no enforcement. One enforcement officer for the whole entire city. The city's oversaturated with warehousing. How are you gonna maintain all of that territory with one person? You should have a team, a fleet of enforcement officers. You know, this is a great way to provide new public jobs for the community. And the companies, the corporations, certainly have enough money to pay for their impact, their environmental impact to our communities. We're already suffocating through the worst air pollution in the country. I think they could pay more in citations, right? If you
Thank you, sir.
Your
Appreciate
time
you.
is up.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I don't believe Gilman Springs Road is within the city. Is that correct? Is it?
It's segmented, so some is county and some is city. And we contacted the county and they were going to keep it as a designated truck route.
And staff's not making a recommendation on the number of officers. We're just stating what the law provides and stating how many officers we currently have on staff.
Next speaker.
Right. Our next speaker is Tatiana Flores, followed by George Haig.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here with CCAEJ and the Fright Communities Action Coalition. And I just wanted to say that I support the proposed amendments, as I've said in other Traffic Safety Commission meetings, specifically the removal of Paris, Alessandro, Hickok, Fredericks, Sunnymead, Ironwood, Redlands, and Moreno Beach Drive. I also wanted to note that I'm pleased with the flyers and website that have been out. I just would suggest that there be more ways to amplify these messages and actually get more people to respond and send emails. I did make a suggestion about adding a feature onto the interactive map where you can actually put pins on so that people can just leave it there instead of having to send an additional email after opening the website up in the first place. That's just one. And I wanted to bring up something that I mentioned in the first Traffic Safety Commission about the truck parking on Hickok near John F. Kennedy. I know that there is discussion about signage due to the law, but is there a way that we can address the sensitive receptors there in the area as well? I know that street will stay a truck route from what it's looking like, but if there's any way to reduce idling or even parking there, since there's residential on the east side, and then there's Marchfield Park there on the other side. You can even see it in the satellite imagery that's provided on the interactive truck route map that's on the website. And one of the last things is that with the Fright Communities Action Coalition, we'll be having an event on February 21st from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. with a short lunch after. I know that Harold and Edward can't attend, but it would be nice to have someone essentially like share more about what the city is doing that I may have missed or that Carla may have missed when we're presenting about it. So if there's any way to make that work. And also I did want to know about the enforcement that's been mentioned. It's something that we've heard also in the Traffic Safety Commission meeting. So it's kind of what was mentioned about like doing the minimum but wanting to go past that. So if that could be something that's brought up later. I know that it's not what the staff is really talking about. It's just something that's required by the law. But if we can really put a push on that, that would be great so that we can just protect more sensitive receptors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is George Haig.
You have the map put up there again?
Which one?
There is a, do you want the one with the overlays or the? I don't know if we can show the map and the timer at the same time.
Black mainly and gray.
Mr. Haig, before you start, I'll be keeping your time. So, because we can't have both displayed.
The map and the timer at the same time.
Okay. So I would also like to thank Mr. Zamora and the people around him because they have really worked to produce a map to help protect most of the sensitive receptors in town. There is one area I'm concerned about, well, a couple of areas, but the main area I'm concerned about is if you find Heacock between Cactus and Alessandro. I'm sorry you weren't provided a map in your staff report, but Heacock between Cactus and Alessandro. Then going north on that. On the east side of Heacock are residents. Ideally, you don't have trucks traveling north on Heacock. And you can avoid that. Just don't include that section of Heacock. They can go south, but not north. Why? Because as you heard, the main purpose is to try to get these trucks over to the freeway as quick as possible, out of our city, on the freeway, where they belong. And so, if you're going north on Heacock, the main way to get over to the 215 is using Cactus. There's no reason to continue further north to Alessandro. If they actually did go north to Alessandro and make a left, then they're going on the north side of Alessandro where there are apartments and homes and other things. So ideally, we need to eliminate that segment of Heacock between Cactus and Alessandro going north. And that would avoid trucks or many trucks using Alessandro on the north side of Alessandro adjacent to apartments and homes. It would avoid trucks going north on Heacock, which is adjacent to homes just to the east of Heacock, and it would get them to State Routes 250, or get them to the 215 quicker and out of our city without impacting the residents. So please, as you're studying this, make that something you are considering. Another point, you're looking to reach out to people. One of the entities in our city you should work to do that with are the schools and the people in the schools and the organizations that help run those schools and the organizations that represent the employees of those schools. So you should be reaching out to the unions of the teachers, the unions of the classified people, and even the administrators at the school site. Don't just settle with the administrators in the district office or the school board. Reach out to the people where the sites are sensitive receptors and include them, and include the PTA also, and make sure that happens. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
We have no more speakers.
Okay. If there's no more speakers or public comments, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda, I have a plot plan PEN 22-0215 for the development of a new express car wash with associated parking and landscape improvements. Do we have a staff report?
Thank you, Chair. Actually, this item is being continued per the applicant's request, and they have requested to continue it to March 22nd, 2026. Thank you. 2026 is, yes. Oh, March 26th. I'm sorry, did I say March 22nd? The date for the continuation item is March 26th, 2026. Thank you.
Few 26s in there somewhere. Okay. All right. Well, that item is going to be continued. So let's move on to the next item, which is a municipal code amendment, PEN 26-0003.
Apologies, Chair.
I'm sorry.
If we may interject here, we do need a motion for you to continue the
it?
item.
Oh, okay. Do we have a motion and a second to continue it?
So motion.
All right, let's have a vote there.
And that's a motion to continue to March
To
26th,
continue to
2026.
March 26, 2026. Okay. All right.
Hi, Chair. We'll take a roll call vote.
Sure.
Commissioner Zeitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Baker,
Yes.
Chairperson DeJournette.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
I was a little ahead of that one. Okay. All right, so the motion does carry, and now we'll move on to the next item, which is a municipal code amendment, PEN 26-0003. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, we have Senior Planner Miguel de Rio, who will provide the staff report.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. Miguel Del Rio, Senior Planner. The item before you this evening is the Winter 2026 Omnibus Municipal Code Amendment. The Municipal Code Amendment revises and updates various sections of Title IX, which is the Planning and Zoning title of the Municipal Code for the purposes of clarifying and streamlining various entitlement processes and development standards related to accessory dwelling units and multifamily residential projects. The proposed amendments are as follows. Amend Section 9.09.130, titled Accessory Dwelling Units, to clarify local development standards and by right development standards, including the number of ADUs permitted on a lot, maximum unit size, and setback requirements. The proposed revisions also include the requirement that applicants coordinate with the Department of Environmental Health for ADUs proposed on properties served by septic systems. And to amend Section 9.17.080, titled Multifamily Residential Development, to eliminate the minimum 35% site area landscaping requirement for multifamily residential developments, and instead establish a less restrictive standard that requires setback areas adjacent to public streets to be appropriately landscaped and continuously maintained in accordance with the City of Moreno Valley Objective Design Standards for Multifamily and Mixed-Use Residential Developments, and Chapter 9.17 of the Municipal Code titled Landscaping and Water Efficiency Requirements. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve Resolution Number 2026-01, recommending that the City Council find that the Municipal Code Amendment is exempt from CEQA, and introduce and adopt ordinance next in order approving the Municipal Code Amendments based on the findings set forth in the attached Planning Commission resolution. This concludes my presentation, and I am available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do we have any commissioner questions for staff?
The setbacks in these, in this amendment, is that prescribed by the state? That's something we're doing on our own?
No, it's, these two amendments are not related to any state laws or requirements.
Who proposed this?
So as far as the ADU changes, we provided clarifications for ADUs that are allowed under our municipal code development standards versus government code section 66323, which has been approved for a couple years now. However, there was a little bit of confusion amongst the two different development standards and the two different processes. So we took the opportunity to go in there and make the clarifications for both those types of ADUs.
Did it have anything to do with the HOAs?
It did not.
Did not, because I know they're very strict, and I noticed that they're allowing to be able to do that.
Any other comments or questions of staff from commissioners? All right, I'll take that as okay. All right, we'll now move into public testimony. The clerk will call upon each person who has requested to speak. Each member of the public wishing to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on a public item. Do we have any public comments?
We do. One speaker, George Haig.
Here I was about ready to walk out. Just thought I mean, since I'm here anyway, ADUs are going to start taking over our city. You just need to realize this. Developers are already trying to make it so it's just over the counter, doesn't have to come to you, nothing. They're just going to push to make sure it's just an administrative thing that can be done at the desk, away from any public input. And, you know, for individual people, you know, if I wanted to put an ADU, that seems to be fine. But when they have, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 acres, and then they just want to add an ADU, then I think it really should, many cases, come to you, and they don't just tack it on. The project that you just denied, the housing unit, that wanted to increase it to 10 units, and basically most of you, except one, voted against that project, and it's appealed now, and it will be at the next city council meeting. It's my understanding that that developer is now planning to use ADUs and other things to increase the density of his project to affordable housing units and to get the state approval to being able to do that. And the city council will probably have their hands tied as to what they can do. We're in favor of affordable housing, but there should be some public input into that. The project that you will probably hear, Merino Meadows, which is between, on north of Ironwood Avenue, between Nason and Marina Beach. That area is R2. It's going to be changed, so which would have maybe 200 units or a little less. The developer is going to put in 555 units. Why? Because they're going to use ADUs. What will the ADUs look like? It may be that they will be actually under the same roof as the house, but there will be a section out of the house that's going to be declared ADU. Now, will there be one person in there? Will there be 5 person in the ADU? You don't know how many people will be in an ADU. You don't know how many cars will be related to an ADU. I just want to bring this to your attention about ADUs, which should be something that is available for the individual to put in. The people who decide to make them part of their units or project need to make sure they come before you. Anyway, you have a good evening.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers?
We have no more speakers.
All right, at this time, if there's no more speakers for public testimony, we will close the public testimony and move on to deliberations. Or do we have a motion and a second?
I have a question real quick, or a statement. By decreasing the size of the setbacks, what will that allow with the high-density housing? Is that gonna allow more parking? Is that gonna allow them to put more units in? Because I know with the high-density housing that's being proposed, we are meeting the state standards or whatever, but if you go in these places, there's no place to park. And, you know, I don't mind giving a little setbacks if we're gonna use it in parking or, you know, something of that nature that helps the neighborhoods flow better for fire, for police. That way they're not trying to fight through all the parked cars. I don't think we should move the setbacks back just to increase density.
Any other No? Do we have a motion and a second? No?
You gonna make it or I'm going?
No, I don't have this thing up here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, no, I think this is it right here. All right. You have something in deliberations?
I was just a little bit muddled on this. So that means that basically, it'll just be approved at the desk where you get the permits. Is that what it is? We're not gonna have to, it's never gonna come to us. If they're gonna be doing AUDs, it's just streamlining the process. Is that what it's doing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
ADUs are.
I know we had AUDs, we had everything, and now it isn't a state law. You've already confirmed that. So basically, I'm wondering, I shouldn't even say that. Who's the brainchild of this? Because I'm a little confused as to what. Oh, is it? Well, I don't know, because they're doing it here at the city level. We're not really doing it at the state level. So basically, what was the reasoning for doing this?
So, thank you, Commissioner Stefan. So just to clarify, the state law already requires that ADUs are approved ministerially. What we're doing tonight is clarifying our code so that it's easier for persons to read it and understand it based on what's required of state law. And if City Attorney has anything else to add?
Yeah, what we've seen over the past few years is this evolution over what people used to call granny flats.
Right.
Or accessory unit, or, well, they call them now accessory dwelling units. But it's those additional units you had in your backyard.
Right.
Before, it went through a discretionary process. In a lot of cities, we required conditional use permits, so they had to come through and had a public hearing. Now, because of this mandate that's come down from the governor's office over affordable housing, so there's been certain laws that have been adopted at the state level, and HCD has come up with this guidance on how they interpret these laws to require cities to now process these ADUs on a ministerial basis, meaning no public hearings.
Right.
No, very limited discretionary review. It's black and white, you check the box. And so so the purpose of what we're doing is to streamline that process to make it more user-friendly for the property owner. And
It'll
that's
be
basically,
easy.
we're just making it easy to understand, but we're not necessarily making it easier for them to get approved, because the state has mandated and HCD has mandated that we make this process very user-friendly. And in fact, I think in the recent past, we've received comments from HCD who went through our ordinance and our procedures and submitted comments to us and suggestions on what we might want to consider changing just to make it more user-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of this happening now at the state level, where they're taking away local control when it has something to do with residential development, and particularly residential development that includes affordable housing, which ADUs are now considered to be affordable housing. So that's where a lot of this is originating from.
Okay, so this just make it easier for the consumer to understand.
Correct.
Okay. I was just kind of confused as to why we were doing this, and now you've explained it, so I can add one or two to my property.
And remember, there's attached ones and detached ones.
I don't have much to go. I'll be
Hey,
seeing the roots of the grass.
One question I've got on that, when you add to, do you have to have a business permit to do that? To rent out part of your house, or, I mean, I was told that in the city of Paris, so I don't know. I think we do have a business license here for renting a house or a room out in Moreno Valley, is that correct?
Business license?
That's what the city clerk told me.
No. I haven't heard of that.
Never heard of that?
No.
Neither.
Yes, I know you don't have to have one if you live there, but you're asking if they rent the ADU, for apartment buildings, yes. And if they're conducting a business,
If they're living,
Yeah,
on-
that's
if they're
actually
living
a-
on your property, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple units. But ADUs are not considered to be, ADUs don't turn single-family residential zoning into multiple-family
Okay.
residential zoning.
Grandma house.
Yes, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
except
but
for
we
you
can,
might-
we can,
Wow.
I know some cities do not require business licenses for rentals, and some cities do.
Do here in Paris, I know that. Bought a couple.
Really?
Yeah,
That's-
really, you got some rentals, don't you?
Okay.
Stay
Any
away
other
from me.
commissioner comments?
Be quiet, Ray.
Yeah.
Or do
I'll talk
wait,
to you later.
I know.
or do we have a motion in a second?
You want me, this a motion here?
Yes,
That resolution?
that's it.
Okay, I move that we approve resolution 2016, or 2026, 04, recommending to the city council, find the PEN 2026-003 is exempt from the California Environmental Act, and also introduce and adopt ordinance number, I guess yet to be assigned, approving PEN 2026-003 based on the findings set forth in the attached Planning Commission resolution. Huh? Okay. Need a second now, right?
Need a second.
Second.
All right, I'll second it.
You seconded it.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna pull up, there we go. All right, the motion does carry. The next item on the agenda is other commissioner business. We have no other commissioner business, or no. We have the commissioner deal coming up. I think we'll meet before that, before we go off to Anaheim, right? Yeah.
March.
Yeah. All right, the next item on the agenda is staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
Thank you, Chair. Just really quick, going back to the item just before, the omnibus, did want to mention that it will be scheduled for the next city council meeting, as it is a public hearing item.
Okay.
And that's the wrap-up for that item. And in terms of public comment, staff comments, thank you. So I do want to emphasize and encourage the community to go to the Truck Routes web page. And it's a very simple, easy web address, and it is moval.org/truckroutes. There is also, as we heard, a community workshop coming up on March 4th at 6 p.m., and it will be here in the council chambers. Again, we really are encouraging the community to come out and participate in the process, provide public comment. And that is all I have. Thank you.
And we also encourage all of you to invite the community to look at our website on truck routes and submit comments.
Okay.
The March 4th, what's the time on that? 6 o'clock?
Yes, 6 p.m. Thank you.
March 4th. 6 Where?
Here in the council.
Here in the council chambers.
Okay.
That's
All right, the next item on the agenda is planning commissioner comments on items under the preview of the plan. oh,
March
hang on.
11th.
All right, do we have any commissioner comments? What?
Leave it, man.
Email again.
All right, the planning commission meeting is adjourned at 6:55 p.m. to our next regular meeting on February 26th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Thank you guys very much.